Hello YouTube, it's Captain Planet, and like I said in the Morpher review, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Today, we will be reviewing the Fansproject Causality, whatchamacallits, of Causality 09 and 010 Car Crash and T-Bone, which are homages to G1 Stunticons from Transformers, Breakdown, and Wild Rider. So, looking at their boxes, they got pretty basic boxes. Just a window here for them in robot mode. The side, they got some nice art. One is actually a drawing, and the other one is toy. Did not notice that. Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. Drawing. Toy. Get some nice little display stuff here once you get the other 5. And then looking on the back, it's, you know, car to robot, robot to car, posability, and I don't know what they're trying to highlight, like he has ankle tilts and a gun. You know, web search and Fansproject Crossfire, made in China. And it's the same on Wild Rider's box or T-Bone. I'm just going to refer to them as their causality names because I'm more comfortable doing that. And that's the way that I'm going to do this review. No, it's the same. They're like the same. Actually, wow, they're crazy close to the same. And then, okay, that art is almost all the same. Like, gun, tilts, and they do things with their shoulders. Alright, I'm done rambling about boxes and such things that are not necessary. Inside the boxes are trays, just little plastic trays. I'm not going to show because they don't show up. And then on the card backs, there's plastic baggies with instructions from going to robot to car mode, and car to robot, and all that stuff. And then you got bio cards. That's what these are, like collector cards or something. They got made up stories for Fansproject's versions of these characters. Alright, and here is Car Crash and T-Bone. As you can see, they are very much samey car, with Car Crash here being more smoother, sleeker. No real hard angles to speak of. And T-Bone here is very angular. He's got these types of protrusions right here. Lots of very, very slick looking car mode. These are also the leg modes for the gigantic combined form. And there you go. That's how they're gonna be, is just 2 cars standing straight up. The weapons store on the back here, but on mine, these need to be put on before you finish transforming T-Bone, or they don't fit for whatever reason. And for Car Crashes, I can only stick them in. Hold on, let me get light source in there. I can't even full on peg them in, or else I can't get them out. They just become completely stuck and unmovable. Outside of that, there is one other problem. This whole side here is completely reliant on pegs, and if you don't transform it just right, you get some minor gappage shown right here. For whatever reason, it seems to always be the side, like on both of them, it's the same side. And if you don't get the side pegs here on the legs in, this also doesn't fully connect. Other than that, they look really good. Car Crash here is not as white as he looks. He's actually more of a cream color. Though it would have been nice for him to be just a very nice bright white. And here, the only complaint that I have about T-Bone's paint job is that there's a gap right here for whatever reason. And it's not that big of a deal. Definitely not a game breaker. They look so sick in car mode. As for rolling, Car Crash can totally just he rolls. He's definitely roller. T-Bone here sadly does not roll very well, like at all. He just kind of drags across the ground, and that's because if you look, there's some slight protrusion right here and right here from the crotch and the chest that just drags enough on the ground that the wheels can't roll. And I've tried transforming them and retransforming them to get the wheels to sit higher, and it just doesn't happen. So a little bit of a design oversight, but overall it looks great. I mean, they look just fine sitting there in car mode together. So let's move on to transformation. I'm going to show both going to and from robot mode, and then we'll talk about the robot mode.
Starting from from robot to vehicle, I find that it's always easier to collapse the arms first. This is where you're mostly going to struggle with going from robot to car mode, as lining up the tabs, they have to be perfect and the arms need to be slid all the way till they click. And getting the click in is a lot harder than it seems. And then you have to struggle with the pegs all lining up. They don't need to be perfect, they just need to be close to perfect if you want the car to be held together. The next step, I like to transform the feet. The feet are extremely easy to collapse together as far as they just fold together. The real struggle comes in when you need to collapse the legs and line up the windshield of the car with the hood of the car, as the pegs on the side of the legs are just a little bit too long, making folding it in a pain. But after a few transformations, it ends up getting easier as the peg does wear down. I did find that getting T-Bone's hood hooked together is a little bit difficult if you don't have the feet in the perfect position. And it's very difficult to get both the, I guess, both the legs in at the same time. You usually have to do them one after another, and then that last leg that you collapse in is usually difficult. And from there on, all it is really just collapsing the body. It's really simple, and then you just kind of keep squeezing at it till you get all the pegs settled. That is one of the major faults of this toy, though, is that it heavily relies on pegs. But going from robot to car, it's not so bad. The real difficulty is when you go from car to robot. And going from car to robot, you actually want to pull the waist down and immediately start transforming your legs. It's going to give you a lot more room to work with. The next big struggle, especially with Car Crash, is getting the feet unfolded. There's a certain trick, and I find that it's easier to do on T-Bone than it actually is to do on Car Crash, as you can see on the video. But once you figure out the movement and how it's supposed to work, it's very easy. I also find that collapsing the wheels in on T-Bone is easier only because you have so much room, where on Car Crash you just kind of have to flick them inside and just hope that they land right in the notch. Also, with T-Bone's leg opening up more, you have a lot more room to work with. Another quick word of advice is that it's also easy to pop off the legs if you're not watching what you're doing. And you can pull them off the socket, no big deal, you just gotta put them back in. And after unfolding the legs, you're gonna struggle to get them back on those overextended pegs, but it's no big issue. The next big struggle is gonna be getting the arms out. This I like to be extremely careful, taking the shoulders out first, and then working the arms out. If you push them all the way like you're supposed to, pulling them out is going to be a little bit difficult the first few times. You might actually think that you're breaking the toy. You're not. Don't worry about it. They're built much sturdier than that. And then all you have to do is recollapse the waist and set the shoulders the way that you want them, and you're done.
Alright, and here is Car Crash and T-Bone. Now, looking at the robot modes, T-Bone is just like a hair taller than Car Crash. If you're wondering, I measured him. He's just like this much taller from head to head, not shoulder to shoulder. For posability, I'm just gonna look at Car Crash here and show you posability. Posability is the same on both of them. You got ball jointed heads. They have hinges here, and then they have ball joints, so their arms can go like that. It's really, really good range of movement. Sorry about that. Let me zoom in. He's got 90-degree elbow bend. They have ball jointed hands, but it doesn't do anything. It like you get like that much movement, but you get full swivel, which is really the big win there. Thanks to the transformation, you got a waist joint. Knees are ball jointed with a swivel. Knee bend goes just over 90. And they have really big honkin' feet with ankle tilts. If there's one complaint as far as like aesthetically, I think that they look strange, like just standing straight up. Like, this looks weird. I don't know. You can't have them in just straight up standing up. You gotta have them like splayed legs, and they're just all super robot-y, I guess. I don't know how to explain that. But their posability is like really good. Their legs are also kind of just a little bit long. And since I just talked about the feet, my only big problem with Car Crash here is that he does have strange looking feet. Maybe because it's the white and the black, and you can notice it more. But I don't really notice it too much on T-Bone here. But as far as which one looks better, I think Car Crash actually looks a lot better. Just the overall paint and stuff, because once you transform him, you get all this nice blue. You get the nice, good looking, look at that silver shine. He just looks great. Oh, they also have a different face sculpt. Hold on. See, he's got kind of like an angry face, and he's got a more stern face. But yeah, Car Crash here, he's got some nice colors going on with the white and these shoulder pads just kind of go wherever. He's got some nice, just overall color. I do like him in robot mode more than I do like T-Bone. T-Bone does have the better vehicle mode in my opinion. Looking at T-Bone, there's lots of gray, red, and darker gray. It's not really black, it's more darker gray. I'm not sure how well that's coming off on camera. But they both look good. I don't know, I like him just a little bit more. But overall, I think that they're great figures. I love the posability on them. Their size, they come out taller Scouts, smaller. We'll call them Scouts a little bit. They're more of like a deluxe size figure. Maybe a little bit smaller, but they also got to become feet, so it's forgivable. But overall, they're great little figures, especially for like $50 or $60. I forget their price. Yeah, they're $60. Little bit pricier, but that's because the final robot, all the limbs are priced at like $60 to offset the cost of the main body. But overall, I think that they're worth $60 too. I mean, I definitely don't regret buying them. Should you buy them standalone? I don't think so. Unless you're like a hardcore fan of these guys. I think that the real big thing here is having the whole Stunticon team, not so much the individual characters. But that's just my opinion. To each his own, I guess. But I really like these guys. You can actually still get them anywhere too. I mean, TF Source has them, Big Bad Toy Store has them. All all the stores that carry third-party products have them. They're great figures. I mean, look at how crazy posable these guys are. I know I just put them in the same stance. Can't help it. But yeah, let me get him to stand on. But you know, even when these things do go onto the aftermarket, I think that they're still worth like $80. I like them. They are very strong representations of the characters, and they're just neat little toys. You can even set them on your desk. Outside of the kind of painful transformation, they're neat little posable desk toys. So yeah, before I ramble on, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.